Hey there friends, it's Paul and welcome to another video, and today we'll be finally customizing Infinity Dragonoid. Sorry that this video took so long to make, but sometimes life and work just get in the way, but we're finally here. So the plan will be to give Drago my interpretation of his anime colors. Like, he won't be 100% accurate to the show, but I think he will be looking great in the end product. Of course, we'll be using the trusty Gundam markers as always, and just as an FYI, I didn't record most of the painting process since I spent 90% of the time up close to the figure, and also because it was quite a difficult project that involved tons of hours of painting and waiting and painting and waiting, and if I recorded everything my phone would have died. So what I'll do instead is explain how I painted the different sections and afterwards show you the results of each part. So that being said, let's start the project. Okay, so first up we will be basically painting the entire body of Drago in red. For this specific project I had acquired this EX version of the red Gundam marker, as I was told that this specific variation of the marker was of better quality than your conventional ones. And well, to my surprise, this marker ended up being a metallic red that was a bit darker of a shade compared to the one I used with the titanium Drago custom I did. And when I discovered this I was like, let's give it a try, as I guessed that this marker was going to be way better than the conventional red marker I love using so much. So when I started painting, I decided to go with a medium-sized brush to cover things relatively quickly and to also have a smooth finish on the Bakugan. While I was painting, I was like, wow, finally a red marker that doesn't act all weird. And yeah, at this moment everything was looking good. I was in love with this marker, but soon everything went to shit. So before painting in any details, I let it dry for literally an entire week, and afterwards I did a bit of mods to the design, and then I applied a clear coat to Drago to ensure that the red paint really stuck onto the surface. Using clear coat sprays helped with this, as it kinda seals the paint in place and also gives it an effect as if this paint was part of the original material. And from my previous experience, using this spray would help to later apply a different color over the one you had just painted, so I decided to apply it. For this one I used a matte spray that really gave an amazing finish to Drago. The color still looks shiny and super reflective to light, so yeah, so far everything was good. And just as a note, after applying this spray, I let Drago dry and chill for another entire week. So afterwards, I basically started to paint all the yellow details on Drago's wings, and surprise surprise, the red marker started to act like a bitch. So I started to paint all confident that the yellow would attach no problem. And even after applying the clear coat, the red decided to say, nah, I'm not gonna help you out, dude. And it started to somehow mix with the yellow. After applying the first two coats, I saw that the color on the details were all over the place. Some areas were yellow, others orange, others totally red, and it was really frustrating, like I was about to give up at this moment. But then I decided to let those details dry a bit and went on to paint Drago's horns. And the same thing pretty much happened here, but thankfully after two coats of paint things started to look fine. So after completing the horns, I applied two more coats to the yellow wing details, and things were definitely looking better. Not gonna lie, the yellow details were looking more yellow, but still there were a couple of places where the orange shade was more predominant, and that was annoying me quite a lot. So after the fourth coat, I let Drago dry for a couple of hours. I went on to have lunch and then came back to apply two more coats of the lovely yellow marker, and boom, it finally worked. I was like, wow, guess the sixth time was the charm. And afterwards I repeated this tedious process on the bottom half of Drago and on his legs and neck. However, for some reason things went super smoothly on the neck portion, as I only had to apply one coat. Guess that happened because we were using way less paint here, so yay for that. And afterwards we went on to paint Drago's claw thingies and his feet with the metallic silver, and here I started to record everything as it seemed that things were going to be a bit more straightforward here. I figured the red is a metallic color, the silver is a metallic color, they should work together well. And surprise surprise, they didn't work. Again, they mixed together, and now I was starting to get a shade of an actual metallic pink going on. Once I realized that, I stopped recording and said, well, here we go with another 4-hour process of painting and waiting and painting and waiting. However, I applied a bit of a trick here that actually worked. I went on to apply a coat of white all over the details that were going to end up being silver, At this moment, I didn't care that this layer became a bit pinkish, because I had to have a foundation that wasn't 100% red Gundam marker to paint. I let it dry for an hour and then applied the silver, and boom, it finally worked. This was actually a technique I used in Heridian when I applied the purple details on his secondary heads, because after applying the initial coat of purple, or I should say metallic pink, it kinda mixed with the metallic black and it looked way too dark for my liking. So I applied a coat of white and then the metallic pink, and it ended up looking perfect. And now come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention that on the video. I'm so sorry about that. So at this point I was pretty much exhausted and called it a day, and the next day I painted in Drago's Infinity Core Crystal and his eyes, pretty much using the same technique as I mentioned above. And yup, I can say that we are finally done with this custom project. So yeah, after many hours of pain and suffering, thanks to the red Gundam marker, we can now say, and this Infinity Dragonoid custom is finally complete. And I gotta say that all those hours and hours and hours of work were really worth it, cause I love how this Drago is looking. Like, it's mind-blowing. Like 10 years ago, mini Bakugan collector Paul would have never imagined that he'd have an Infinity Dragonoid in all his glory in his collection. While I'm recording this audio, I'm looking at this Drago and it reminds me of that meme that says, "It's beautiful, I've looked at this for 5 hours now." The way that the matte finish interacts with light sources is just incredible, and Drago just looks badass. But yeah, after this customizing project, as we say here where I live, estoy tostado, I'm exhausted. So I think I'll be taking a bit of a break from painting projects for a while. So yeah, my friends, this has been the video customizing my Infinity Dragonoid. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like, share your love for Drago in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the video, and yep, it's been Paul, and I'll see you in the next video.
Say I hope you're